law offices of Neil D. Codsey and Bravo Law. Bravo Law is a business litigation firm known for providing common sense solutions to small businesses and individuals throughout South Florida. Mr. Bravo is rated AV by Martindale Hubble and Superb by AVVO, the highest ratings available from these two entities. The law offices of Neil D. Codsey is a litigation boutique with offices in Broward and Miami-Dade counties. Mr. Codsey is a veteran trial lawyer with nearly 25 years of jury trial experience. He is also a two-time recipient of the South Florida Daily Business Review's Most Effective Lawyer Award, a recipient of numerous awards for providing pro bono legal services, and has been recognized by the National Law Council. Call our office, 786-464-0841 or 954-790-6711 and get informed. CPA for the People provides CPA services and business consulting for innovative creators. Collaborative, personal, affordable. We specialize in tax consulting, business consulting, financial statement compilation, and personal finance. For more information, please go to www.cpaforthepeople.com or call at area code 630-244-7893. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Halley Elise Show, featuring your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise. She is an author, psychic, and media personality, and has been listed as one of the top 100 psychics in America. Empowerment psychic Halley Elise shares the spiritual, metaphysical, holistic, and magical powers of the universe. Follow Halley on her website at HalleyElise.com, and all her shows can be seen via live stream video. Now, here's your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and happy Memorial Day. It's a great day to have like barbecues and picnics and all. It's sunshiny and clear, at least here in South Florida. I was chatting with somebody out in Texas. They're not having such great luck the last week or so here with the rain, so hopefully today is better for them. Anyways, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great time. I wanted to share that over the course of the next several weeks and actually several months, I'm going to have some amazing guests on. This evening, you got me, but I'm going to talk about sacred spaces this evening. I want to share that the gentleman who's been on before, who wrote a book on angels and talking with the angels, he'll be back. There's somebody coming on that I mentioned previously as a teaser who has a lot to say about Buddha, and has written an amazing book that compiles so much information. Truly, it's a worthwhile read. Then I have a gal who's going to be coming on who I know all of you gals and guys out there who are looking for love are wanting to tune in. See, I'm not even giving you a chance if yes or no. You are wanting to tune in. It's that message planting in the brain. I'm just teasing. But all kidding aside, she's fabulous. She's a PhD, and she's written a book on romance and karma and understanding, how to make that work for you so you can have the right person in your life. Kind of fun, right? And we also have a gentleman coming on who is truly incredible. He helps facilitate people's success in ways that are just phenomenal. I could share, without going into too information before him, that one of the gals who's well known from The Secret, she gained, if you will, her ability to do what she does better and on a large scale by connecting with this gentleman and his company. There's lots of other people that maybe he'll drop some names so that you have an opportunity to see when he's on. So anyways, as you can see, there is some guests, and I'm not sharing names. You'll have to, you'll have to tune in or look at, I should say, Facebook, and I will kind of share their information a little beforehand, like the week before, and then obviously just before they come on the air, a day or so. Also, please remember, the Psychic Gallery is the first Monday of the month. So if you'd like to join us, check out HalleyElise.com. You'll have all the information there. And if you go online beforehand, there's a financial savings, which is always nice, little gift. Plus, I do door prizes, so you have an opportunity to win gifts when you come out. And third Monday of the month, remember that too. because that's when you can call in and get your free psychic reading. And here's the only place that I do that. At the gallery, obviously, you get an opportunity to relax and de-stress and connect with energy and get readings there. But on the show, it's the only time that you can call in that third week and get a free reading. So you may want to put that down in your calendar. So, sacred spaces, that's what I'd like to chat about this evening. Oftentimes when we think about a sacred space, we think about going to a church or a synagogue or a mosque, or we think about going to perhaps Israel where the wall is, or another space where it's if you're consecrated, and construed as a holy land or a holy place. But did you know that you can create a sacred space anywhere? Did you know that you can create a portable sacred space that you can use? No? Well, you can. And I'm going to share this evening a way to tap into that. See, so often we're busy in our lives, and perhaps we want a moment where we can just get zen and peaceful and connect with the divine, or just be able to have a space that makes us feel good, that we become contemplative. In our homes, the kitchen's usually not that place, unless you're one of those people that automatically goes into meditation when you're cooking or when you're cleaning dishes. I have a pal who's a shaman out in Indiana, and she always talks about when she does dishes, she just kind of zones out. That's her sacred time, because it's reminiscent of another time with a family member where there was always joy and peace attached to it. So sacred space is not always going elsewhere, nor is it always just about prayer. A sacred space, like I said, can be a place to be contemplative. A sacred space also, for my writer friends out there, can be a place to write, where you're inspired, where you feel motivated, where you feel that no matter what you're doing, it's going to turn out right. Okay, so I want you to think for a moment. If you look at your senses and you consider the spaces that you already construe as sacred, when you walk into, let's say, a church or a synagogue, and it's got a certain scent to it, and the lighting is a certain way, or there's glass panes with things that are beautiful there. If you notice, there's a feeling that comes along with all of that, meaning your olfactory senses and the auditory and all the stimuli that comes into play that engages your five senses also engages a shift to take place. I know a lot of people that say, oh, I like synagogue once I'm there, but getting me there, oh my gosh, because it's not until they step through that door that they feel that shift. So that's going somewhere, right? A lot of people feel that going to the beach, that's their sacred space. That's a place where they renew and refresh. The salt in the air purifies your thoughts and enlivens your soul. The water has the ability to take away not only stress, but because of the salt in it and because of the life in it, has the ability to take away negative energies. Also a place to go. Yes. Okay. So what if you started to incorporate things that are sacred to you within your sacred space? Now, think in terms of easy, think in terms of simple, think in terms of transportable or mobile. And what I mean by that is, if you have a towel, for instance, it's not too difficult to pick that towel up and take it with you, right? If you have a paper plate, not difficult to pick it up and take it with you. Either one of those things are very easy, yes? Okay. So, what if you have a small space? You can still do it. Now, if you are one of those people who has a huge home and you can carve out a specific space for you and your time to really be in that moment, that's beautiful. But what about when you leave your home? If you were accustomed to, for instance, getting up every morning and meditating in that particular space in your home, it's kind of hard to take that space with you. If you are somebody who gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning because you're just stirred and you feel inspired to write and to create, and you go into that space and you find yourself there for hours and hours and you lose track of time, again, it's in that place. You can't take it with you, right? Okay. Think sound. And again, think visual. think sensory, truly sensory. Ever notice when you walk into a store that the ones that make you smile or make you feel good seem to be ones that have things of beauty or have things that you can reach out and touch that make you feel good or have a particular scent? Again, it's very similar to what I was talking about as far as going to a place of worship or even going to the ocean. I mean, really, you are very sensory aware when you're at the ocean. So all of those things can be put into play in a small place. The biggest part of creating a sacred space, and it's really so amazingly simple, you would be surprised, is you. And if you're thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. I'm the least sacred person in the world. Are you kidding? I'm stressed out every day and I come home and all I want to do is have peace and quiet, and I don't have it. I've got, 6 dogs and 5 cats and I've got 3 kids. And when I get in, I have all these things to do and I just don't have time, and getting quiet, getting sacred, not happening. Okay. But you do have the ability to put your energy into something. You know the saying, if you change what you look at, the thing that you change, or rather the thing that you look at changes. We've talked about this before. Like in other words, what you see is so much more than what you see. Okay, so if you were looking at something and you were expecting it to be something else, then that's what it is. And wrap your head around that for just a second. And I always give the example of a table because you can sit on a table as a chair, or you can stand on it as a step stool, or it's a table where you sit down and you dine. Okay, so apply that thought to wherever it is that you want to create your sacred space. And I'm going to give the example of the paper plate because I just think it's so funny. A paper plate is a little nothing, right? And no one would really think that could create a sacred space. But what if the paper plate was painted with your favorite colors? What if it was anointed with oils that create a sense, create peace, create happiness? What if you put magical symbols on it? Or what if you just adhere photos of the people that you love? All of a sudden, that paper plate is transformed. And that's something, obviously, that's very portable, that you can take anywhere, right? Okay, and now you're thinking, I've totally lost my mind. I'm telling you to decorate a paper plate. But in actuality, what I'm trying to tell you is whatever you create, you can empower with a specific purpose. And to clarify this and make it easier to understand, in your home, when you first move in, you look at each room and you designate each room for a particular purpose, right? You might say one room is an in-home office. You may say the other one has to do with the bedroom. You may say that one is the kids' room, whatever it is. But you look at it and you yourself are the one who says this is what the space is. Now you could say, well, there's 4 bedrooms and that's what they're supposed to be used for. And if that's your belief, that's fine. But my point is you have the ability to walk in and look at it and say, okay, that 3rd bedroom I'm going to use for a movie room. Or I'm going to use that particular room as an arts and crafts room, right? Okay, keeping that in mind, let's go back to the paper plate. You can have a paper plate that you put energy into, that you choose, that every time you see this, it allows you to transform where you are. It allows you really to get into that sense of calm, of peace, that part of you that is awake in peace, that it is awake and connected to the divine, not because of anything else other than that peace is in front of you. Think of it as a sigil, a symbol. Okay. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll give you a little bit more on how to create your sacred space. Thank you.
Wow, this looks really great. Gosh, I've got to stop talking to myself. The Psychic Gallery on the first Monday of every month, 7:30 p.m., here in Boca Raton. De-stress, connect with intuitive abilities, laugh, learn about psychic phenomena, and get psychic messages? Psychic messages? Woo! Where's the price? Here it is. Only $25 at the door? Awesome! How do I sign up? Oh, easy. Go to HalleyElise.com. Nice. $5 off online? Oh, I've got to call the girls and tell them about the Psychic Gallery on the first Monday of the month. Great time! 7:30 p.m., perfect. Have to remember HalleyElise.com for the Psychic Gallery.
You're listening to Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise, and she invites you to visit her website for more information about all that she does at HalleyElise.com. Now, back to your host, Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise.
Good evening. If you're just joining me this evening, it's me. No guests, just me. But we're talking about something that I think is amazing because it's so easy to do. And honestly, everybody needs a place that they feel good with, or a place that they can think and be inspired. So I've been talking about sacred space, and not sacred space as in you have to go somewhere, but sacred space as in you're creating it for yourself. So I talked previously about a paper plate, and I'm sure I'm going to hear about that afterwards. But you would be amazed at how certain things that you see have power, have energy, especially if you imbue that sense of energy, that intention into that place. Before break, we talked about using rooms in a house and dedicating certain spaces for specific reasons. You do the same thing with an object. You do the same thing with the paper plate. Now, let's say you don't like the paper plate. That whole idea is just preposterous to you. You just don't want to do it. It doesn't work. How about a towel? How about a rug? How about a yoga mat? Something that's portable, something that you can take anywhere. You can put it on a plane with you, so you can always take your sacred space. And again, think in terms of being able to imbue a sense of yourself, meaning intention. When you're looking at that thing, whether it is a rug, whether it's a mat, whether it is a towel, it doesn't matter what it is, but you're looking at it and you're thinking, I'm going to use this. I'm going to create something that helps me get into that space. What's really interesting is not only does your intention begin to create it, but every time you use it, it becomes more powerful. Now, you've heard me talk before about going places, and as a psychic, being able to pick up on the energy in the place and kind of knowing things. And not just me, but let's say other psychics going out into the world, and they go into an old house and they're able to say, oh, at one point, this belonged to a colonial family, and they had 3 kids, and somebody had been in a war, and, perhaps even coming up with names and things. And you think, well, how is that possible? It's a modern day house, and there is no record as far as you know. And then you investigate and find out, sure enough, all these things are true. How do they pick up on that? It is not because there's writing on the wall. It's not because they Googled it. It is because they feel it. It is because there is a sensory connection to the vibration and frequency within the space. So if you can do that where people lived in a home years and years and years and years and years ago, then what prevents you from doing that with something right now that is within your power? Nothing, except for you. Now, does it take a little time to create? Sure, but it depends on how elaborate you want it to be. You can, for instance, let's say a towel. We're going to use a towel because it just makes it easy. Let's say you get yourself a white towel, or better yet, you like purple because it has to do with that highest healing, and it has to do with divinity. Or get a pale blue towel because it represents peace and tranquility and blood pressure being peaceful and lower. Or perhaps get a red towel because when you focus in your sacred space, you want to focus on raising your vibration, on passion, on success and motivation. Get my gist here? You can incorporate all the things that already work, that you know work, into this little project. Now, let's for argument's sake, say that we're using a white towel. And we're using a white towel because we are going to think in terms of the sanctity of the space, that it belongs just to us. And when we hold this towel, we're going to hold it for a moment and actually hold it close to our heart. So you're going to hold the object. I'm using towel, paper plate, doesn't matter. Whatever that thing is that you want to imbue, that energy, you're going to hold it close to your heart. And you can just breathe for a moment. And as you breathe, really think in terms of, I am creating something for me. I am now creating my own sacred space that's mobile, that whenever I'm connected to it, I automatically go into that wondrous place of peace. I automatically go into that place that takes me to a higher evolution, emotionally, spiritually, physically. For a moment, think about yoga centers. When you go in, they have certain symbols, they have certain colors, certain music. Why do you think that is? Because they also realize that these things make a difference on shifting. It's not just the exercise. Granted, the exercise is very powerful, but it really is having to do with connecting with all of your senses, connecting with that particular energy. So if we're dealing with a white towel and we're using it for that purpose of higher learning or a higher evolution or raising vibration, we could hold that towel, and while we're thinking of these things, we could also say a prayer. Whatever prayer works for you, that prayer that connects you to your higher source. It could be the Lord's Prayer. It could be the Shema. It can be something totally different. It could be something honoring the goddess. It doesn't really matter what prayer you use, but you're taking a moment to, again, imbue energetically that thing that you're using for your sacred space. Okay, so let's say we've done that. We have this white towel, and just holding it feels nice. We've said a prayer. We've actually charged it. And now what? Well, what things are important to you? Is a symbol of a fish important? A Jewish star? An ankh? Is a symbol of a goddess? Is it a spiral? What things are important to you? Put them on your towel. You don't have to do them any certain way. The ones that they say work best is anything that is done by your own hand. And that is, so if you can embroider or you can in some way attach something by hand, that's wonderful. But if you have to glue it on, that's okay too. That's me. I hot glue everything. So get those symbols. We're at our time for this evening. Just think in terms of using your senses, imbue whatever object it is, and know that each time you use it, it gets stronger, and it works. Thanks so much. Have a lovely evening. Till next week. Good night.
Be enchanted and delighted. Connect each week here on WNN for the Halley Elise Show. Also on Facebook and at HalleyElise.com. Thanks for tuning in.